We've entered a time where information is at a surplus, and there are dozens of different business models and ways of making money that people are talking about online, and it's easy to get distracted. It's easy to find yourself watching these videos and fooling yourself into thinking that you're being productive, when in reality, all you're doing is actually avoiding taking action in any one of them. It's like, let's say you tear your ACL and you need to get knee surgery, or you might need to get knee surgery, and you go to a doctor and he tells you, okay, this is how we're going to repair the ACL, this is what we're going to do, this is what the physical therapy is going to look like afterwards. And you're like, okay, that sounds good. I'm just going to get a second opinion. And then you go to a different doctor and he prescribes you with a different type of protocol to fix this ACL injury. And then you're like, okay, that sounds interesting, maybe I'll try a third opinion. And you just keep doing this, and then the next doctor tells you, oh, we actually don't need any surgery at all, you can just do this, this, and this. And then instead of actually ever taking the action to fix your ACL, you just stay there with a fucking torn ACL, and you're like, oh, well, I don't know which way to go because all these people are saying different things. That is how you probably feel right now if you're trying to start an online business and you're watching all of these videos of people like me telling you, oh, this business model works. Yes, the model that I talk about in all of my videos works, but so does trading, so does drop shipping, so does starting a home service business, or literally any other business that you see online, but you're not gonna make any progress until you actually commit to one thing. And I was in this stage for a while. I kind of dipped my toe into a variety of different business models, and this was before today. Like now with AI as well, you could go to ChatGPT and tell it to build you like a full curriculum on how to start any type of business, and it'll do that. It'll build you a really solid plan. So the information is there, and that's not the problem. It's the implementation, it's the discipline to actually stick to something, and because there's such an excess of information and different opportunities and all of these things that do work, you're not fucking doing anything, and that's why you're gonna stay stuck. And the thing that you're probably not understanding is this: you are not marrying the business model that you choose right now. If you decide that you're gonna be like me and build an info product agency and work with people who sell coaching and courses online, and you go down this route, that is probably not going to be the same business that you're running in 5, 10, 20 years. It'll probably evolve and change, and the market will change, and naturally you'll just get pulled in a different direction. But if you never take the first step and start building hard, tangible skills that make you a valuable asset, then you're never putting yourself in the position to find that next opportunity that better aligns with you. I started out in online business about 4 years ago, and at first I was like every kid. I was like, oh, maybe I'll do drop shipping. And I thought about buying a drop shipping course, and then I was just watching all these videos online, and then I was like, okay, maybe I'll do videography instead. And I actually started that. I made some money, and after that I kind of learned, okay, this is how a service-based business works. Like I develop a skill set, then I approach business owners who might need that skill set. So just taking that one little half step into videography got me to a point where I was a bit more competent. And then once I reached that level, I was like, okay, now I know how to do videography, and I know a little bit about e-com, I know a little bit about drop shipping. Why don't I make e-com ad creatives for brand owners? So I started like a really small agency doing that, and I made a few grand doing that. But then I had multiple skills, and I just had a better understanding of how business works. So I was like, okay, I think I can start a lead gen SMMA. And I began working with local basketball trainers, and I scaled that business. That was my first like semi-successful business. I got to 15 to 20K a month doing that. And after a while, I was like, okay, I have a pretty solid skill set. This was like a year of running this business, maybe a year and a half. And because I actually committed to it and stuck to it, I learned so much in that process. And that put me in a position where I could see other opportunities. I could see different ways that I could apply my existing skill set. And then that's what led me into the info product world and being able to utilize that skill set in a higher leveraged way. But I could never get there if I never took the first step. If I was never like, yeah, I'll pick up a camera and try and do videography, and then that spiraled into the next thing and the next thing, and eventually you become this person who has a vast skill set, and then it's just a matter of identifying opportunities and verticals where you can apply that skill set. If you're gonna go down this route of entrepreneurship and fending for yourself and building your own life without any rules, any guidelines, anyone who's telling you, hey, show up at this time, do this, this, and this, you have to accept that there is more uncertainty that comes with it. There is not a solidified roadmap that you're gonna follow, but you have to take step one. If you don't just pick something and kind of have tunnel vision on that one thing, you're never gonna move. It's never gonna work out. Even though we're in a golden era of information, there's never been more information and more ways to make money online. AI is making everything easier. It's making it so that a beginner can learn different skills, learn different business models way quicker than you used to, but it won't matter if you don't just pick something, if you don't just stick to that one thing, because no matter how much opportunity that there is out there, nothing will work if you don't work. If you can't commit and you can't stay disciplined and you can't not have this shiny object syndrome and always think that the grass is greener because you're not engaging in what's in front of you. That's the biggest thing. Like, I've hit points even now in my business journey where I'm like, damn, that other business model looks better than what I'm doing right now. And because I'll start thinking that, I'll let those thoughts creep in and then I'll start to second guess what I'm doing. And once you do that, that's when you start losing, because you're no longer engaged in the problem at hand. Your mind is no longer thinking, how do I solve these different business problems in front of me and get past this bottleneck so I can go further and scale further. You start thinking about the other thing and you start looking around and your focus gets diverted, and then you lose the opportunity that you had in front of you because you're distracted. If you ever want to grow and actually run a real business and find success, you have to avoid this. And if you're watching this right now and you're thinking, okay, Ben, this sounds great, but with a variety of opportunities and with all of the different business models, how do I know which one to pick? That's the problem, is you're looking for other people to give you conviction. Me telling you this is the best business model to start is not gonna help you, because you're gonna click on another video in 5 minutes and watch somebody else tell you that a different business model is the best one to start. You're looking for other people to give you conviction, and if you don't muster up this internal conviction and just decide I'm gonna go in this direction and block out all of the noise and stop listening to other people, stop watching other videos because this other business model sounds easier, then you're just gonna jump from one thing to the next. And eventually, in my 4 years of running an online business, one thing that I have realized with full certainty, this is very few things that I believe as universal truths, but this is one of them. Every business model has its own pros and cons. And if you don't fix your own internal wiring to be able to handle those difficulties, then it doesn't matter which business model that you're in, you're gonna hit a point where you cap out and you just can't get past it. So you think the answer is looking elsewhere, is starting a different business. But like, let's think about this. Let's say you start running an agency and you get a couple clients and then you kind of hit a wall and you're like, I can't get past 10K a month. And then you're like, okay, maybe I should sell coaching. And you do the same thing there. Let's say it's a little bit easier and you get to 20K a month doing that. But you're gonna reach that same point where you hit this wall, and instead of figuring out the bottlenecks that you need to fix to move past 20K a month, you're gonna jump to another thing. And it's like you're starting from zero again. It's like you're just starting over the same video game on different modes, but you're never completing any singular mission. Naturally, the universe will steer you into a direction that's better for you when it's actually time to transition or pivot into a new business model, because that is true, that does happen. When I was running the basketball trainer marketing agency, the SMA that I referred to earlier, I did kind of inevitably reach this point where it was just like, I'm putting too much energy into something that has a lower ceiling. And even though I'm really skilled and I'm putting a lot of time into this thing, there's just a variety of other factors, like the market being smaller and what I was offering wasn't great. So the writing was on the wall where I was like, okay, I can take my existing skill set and apply it elsewhere. And that's more of like a feeling thing. You're gonna know if you're quitting too early versus like if you're just climbing an uphill battle and you're trying to do something that is just a harder difficulty. So there are times where it does make sense to start something new, but typically that looks like a pivot. That looks like a 90-degree pivot rather than a complete 180 and a complete different business model. Like, if I try to go from running an agency to building an e-com brand, those skills don't apply as well. So I'd be starting all over from scratch, and it's just because I think it's a shinier opportunity. And the biggest thing that I want you to take away from this video is this. You need to pick one thing. You need to commit to it. It doesn't matter what the business model is. It doesn't matter if it feels difficult in the beginning. It doesn't matter if you start it and then you have these voices that creep into your head that you're like, that other thing sounds easier. This person online who I look up to says this other business model is easier, or they say the one that I'm doing is wrong. You have to shut that out. You have to train your brain to stop looking for excuses as to why you shouldn't take action and just go. Just put your foot on the gas and move. and eventually you will find the right opportunity, you'll have the right skill set, you'll have the right network, everything will align, and you'll just skyrocket. But that is a position that you have to earn. That's not something that you can find from the beginning. Anyway, ladies and gents, thanks for watching this one. Go to the links in the description if you want to learn directly from me. Like, subscribe, comment, share this with your grandma, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.